Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to part 4 of the Odyssey rebuild from Copart. So on this episode, what I want to do is actually go ahead and install this radiator support. I still got to finish drilling out a few things, and then I'll be able to kind of dry fit it and see how the frame rails sit. I'm sure that one is straight, but this one I'm a little bit worried about because it's a little bit twisted the way the damage was. So I'm gonna go ahead and once the reinforcement is drilled out, we'll be able to see how much off it is. Then once we know if it's off or not off or whatever, I'll be able to fine-tune everything. And if I need to pull this, for example, to the right, I can go ahead and kind of hook up something to it and then put my truck right here, hook up a winch to it, or I don't know, we can figure it out. It's not going to be anything difficult. It might need to go up a little bit, or I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to throw any guesses out right now and then think about it too much, but once we know, we know. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish drilling out this radiator reinforcement, and we're going to dry fit it and see how she sits. All right, let's go. Alright, and the radiator reinforcement is ready to go into the car. I removed pretty much the sides that I don't need, drilled out the spots where it had spot welds, so now we have nice holes where I need to weld into the car. So this is ready to go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and test fit it on the car and see how it fits. I'm gonna guess it's not gonna fit right away because this side is bent in just a little bit right here on the corner. So I'm gonna see what we can do if it does not fit. So let's go ahead and try and see and line this up and see how much we have to actually push over to the driver's side. I'm gonna guess it's gonna have to go to the driver's side because this is the side that's bent. So let's see what we got. Yup, it looks like maybe 1/4 of an inch. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna go in. Well, it might, but I think I still need to push this out a little bit. So I barely got it to squeeze in by pushing that side in first, and then it gave me a little bit more room on this side to kind of get it started. But yeah, I think I still need to go and see if I can push this side out to the driver's side just a little bit, and I think that's gonna go right in, because even if I shove it in all the way, there's gonna be still a weird angle right here, because that's where it welds in, right about here on the edge. All right, so let's try and figure out how we can push or pull this rail to the driver's side a little bit. Let me see what I can set up.
Alright guys, let's see what we got. I mean, this is not the safest system, but it's honestly all I got right now. I gotta invest in something a little bit better. Something that can push stuff out, pull stuff in, but that's for later time. Alright, let's see what we got. All right, much better, almost like brand new.
And everything is lined up, and it's actually turned out a little bit better than I expected. This side I was able to straighten out a little bit here, so that lines up pretty good. And let's see, the bottom is a little bit bent up here, but I'll be able to hammer that down once I start welding everything in so it doesn't slide. So once I have a few sides welded in, then I'll be able to hammer this down a little bit, straighten this out, and then continue on welding. The bottom here pretty much lined up exactly where it was. This side lined up exactly where it should be. Same thing for this side right here, and on that side as well. All right, so when it's going to be daylight, I'm going to remove this thing. I'm going to prep the frame rails and then mark exactly where this thing should sit. I'm going to outline the spots, and I'm going to start prepping the radiator support. I'm going to get that painted so it matches the paint of the car, and I'm going to start welding it into the car. Once I weld it in, then I'm going to primer the weld spots, and I'm going to paint over those as well. All right, so let's get the sun out here, do some measurements, and then see how it's sitting, if it's centered, if it's not, and then we'll go from there. All right, so let's go ahead and now measure the reinforcement, and I got my laser set up and I got it leveled with the car. So now that we look over here, I don't know if you guys will be able to tell, but I got the laser, basically I went off of this line. I don't know if you guys can tell. Here you can see on my finger there, that's where the laser is. So I'm going off of this line right here, just to make sure. I'm pretty sure this is straight. I don't want to go, there's really nothing else I can go off of, so I'm gonna go off of this. And we're gonna go same thing on this side and that side right here. So we got it lined up on the line here. You can see the laser on my finger right there. So we got this lined up and that lined up, so that's nice and leveled. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and measure the frame off of the laser. So I'm gonna go off the top of the frame here, and then we are at, where are we at? We are at 18 3/8, right? Yeah, 18 3/8 right there. And on the passenger side, we are 18, just over 3/8, so just barely. That's almost perfect. Usually there's always a slight difference even from the factory. So now that we know the frame rails are not, you know, one is higher half an inch or 1 inch or whatever, and the other one is lower, so that's good. Now let's measure the top of the reinforcement, because this is more important, because this is where everything else mounts on. We got the headlights, we got the grill, everything goes off of the top reinforcement, so we need to make sure that this is 100%. So we got 6 inches on this bolt mount right here, and we got a bolt mount right here. We are at what is that? 418, just a little bit under 418. And on the passenger side, we got this bolt at 418, and then this bolt right here will be at 6, exactly how the other side is. All right, now that we know that the frame is pretty much laser straight, it's not higher or lower than the other one, so that's good. Let's measure the distance from the bolt right there to the hole right here. We are at, okay, so we are at 32 on the center, and same thing from this side. Got the bolt right there, and we are at 32 on center. All right, so that's perfect. Then one more measurement I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little tramp tool that I made for the Prius, and we're going to go off of the hole here, and we're going to go to the hole right here. I already pre-measured because I only have one hand right now, and the same thing from the driver's side to the hole right there. Okay, and that's perfect. All right, so pretty much everything is now perfect. Vertically it's perfect, horizontally it's perfect, and diagonally it's perfect. So everything is sitting exactly where it should be. So now what I have to do is actually remove it once again, and then I'm going to go ahead and prep all the spot welds, because there's still some spot welds from the factory. I'm going to go ahead and grind them down a little bit. Then I'm going to throw a little bit of a weld through primer, and then I'm going to prep this thing, paint it a little bit, and then I'm going to weld it in. All right, let's go. Alright, so now the radiator reinforcement is exactly where it should be once again. I went ahead and put the lines where they should be, because this one loops around this way, this one goes inside that way, that one goes that way. So I didn't want to weld this in and then worry about the lines later. It's better to actually know exactly where they go and then go ahead and set up the reinforcement. So now that that reinforcement is set up, I went ahead and remeasured diagonally from the bolt to the holes, and then measured on the frame rail to make sure the distances are exactly how they should be on both ends. The lips are pretty much where they were before. Same thing here, same thing here, and pretty much now it's exactly where it should be. And I'm gonna go ahead and throw a couple of welds, a couple of spot welds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and maybe weld a couple here where it's kind of going to be hidden, maybe a couple here, and then maybe a couple in here or somewhere underneath. That way this piece is going to be sitting exactly where it should be, and it's not going to move if I need to bend a few things here and there or adjust some things, and that's going to be pretty much set to go. And then basically I'll be fine-tuning as I go from spot to spot. So I'm gonna throw a couple spot welds right now, and then we're gonna see what we got. Alright guys, and reinforcement is pretty much all welded in. I pretty much welded in a bunch of spots here and a couple spots there, a couple spots on top here and here. So now it's not going to move 100% for sure. And I still want to check with the laser. So I'll probably end up doing that tomorrow. I want to be 100% that everything is pretty much where it should be. In case I have to move something just a tad bit, I'll be able to, you know, massage something up or down if I need to. That's why I don't want to weld everything in right now, and then see if anything needs to be adjusted. But for now, I gotta run to work. I got a couple more days before Christmas, and so it's been a little bit busy. So yeah, reinforcement is welded in pretty much, like I said. So now what I gotta do, double check everything, finish welding, and then I can start installing all the headlights and grill and everything else on part 5, and that should be our final part 5, and the van should be done. Hopefully there's not going to be any more problems, but this will conclude part 4, and we'll see you guys in part 5. If you're new, please subscribe. If you like the video, please like the video, hit the comments, let me know what you think, and we'll see you on the next one.